Welcome back. Thank you for staying with the Hot 7 Nightly News. On Tuesday, we reported extensively on the budget as put forward by Prime Minister Alan Shastney, looking at his 6 medium-term development targets. Leader of the opposition, Philip J. Pierre, has issued his response to the budget. He stated that the Prime Minister is living in an alternative reality and that his budget does not address the voices of genuine concern being expressed by the majority of St. Lucians. The opposition leader, Philip J. Pierre, lay waste to the Prime Minister's budget plans, calling it simply a repetition of the other 2 budgets presented, containing the same promise of hotels, DSH, port development and changes in the financial architecture.
We await the 6 hotels, promising every budget delivered by the Prime Minister. It's his habit of promising many hotels. At some earlier times, the Prime Minister promised 6 hotels in Miku. In the 3 years, there has not been one new hotel constructed. However, the Prime Minister wants us to believe that 6 hotels will commence in 1 year. Mr. Speaker, we were promised 500 to 800 jobs on the DSH sites and a promise to transform the south of the island. It was said that the project would attract 400 horses. And I quote, the high rates of joblessness in Vieux-Fort would be no longer. Mr. Speaker, what has the DSH project delivered to the people of the South, except the partitioning of a substantial part of their land that, according to a framework agreement, measures over 1,000 acres?
Pierre argued that every interest group is dissatisfied. Police still await the disappearance of impacts, nurses are uncertain of their future, public servants and teachers await the completion of salary negotiations, while workers of the country find it more difficult to secure a decent quality of life.
The Prime Minister is living in a world of alternate reality. The St. Lucia he speaks of is not the real St. Lucia. The real St. Lucia is where healthcare is getting worse, cost of living is increasing, and the people have no confidence that the government is transparent in its dealings and will be fair and equitable. It is a St. Lucia where the people will promise a reduction in VAT with a view to its elimination. However, they have only seen VAT reduced by 2.5% and fuel taxes increased by 60%. The fisher folk of St. Lucia know the effect of the 150 increase in taxation. Now, they face an uncertain future with the closure of the Fish and Marketing Corporation.
Pierre promised that a St. Lucia Labour Party government will reduce the impact of the fuel tax on the fisher folk of St. Lucia. He further chastised the Prime Minister for what he says is his indifference to matters concerning the behavior of his cabinet ministers, sending a clear signal to the population that he just does not care. And so, he argued, certain ministers have become emboldened and are now more and more engaged in activities that are unbecoming of any public official. Soufrière MP Herod Stanislas says the island's tourism mecca, Soufrière, is set to see the completion of major and minor developments to enhance its tourism offering and to better the lives of constituents. He outlined a new farmers' market under construction, the soon-to-be-revealed Soufrière Square project, and renovations to fields, courts, and the Soufrière police station as exciting projects that will come to fruition. Soufrière MP Herod Stanislas came to account to the House and to seek to inspire the confidence of constituents that life in Soufrière will get better under the UWP government. He said under the Constituency Development Program, a number of feeder roads and drainage works were undertaken last year. He gave updates on plans to transform Old Trafford into an economic hub in the town of Soufrière.
And we have started construction of a central bus terminal on Old Trafford. This is a proposed plan, and you will be seeing the works which have been done so far on the bus terminal, Mr. Speaker. These are the works. It's not completed as yet. Within a few weeks, it should be completed and commissioned. On that same Old Trafford facility, we are also constructing a farmers' market, Mr. Speaker. For too long, the people of Soufrière have been deprived of a market. Our farmers who toil the soil daily still have to come to the elements on a Saturday in the sun, the rain, sit on the ground next to the cemetery to sell. So very soon they will be in a very comfortable location.
The MP also assured that the Soufrière Square project that commenced under the SLP and was stalled by the incoming UWP government will soon be completed.
We've heard many things about the square project. They said that was stopped, but I want to assure the Honorable House and the people of Soufrière and St. Lucia that the square project was never stopped. It was put on hold to review and revise the design, the concept, to make it more Soufrière. And work is progressing at a very fast pace, as you can see, Mr. Speaker. And within a few weeks, we are going to open up the square, and Soufrière is going to see what a difference the square makes with the new redesign and review that was commissioned by us.
He touted work done at the Hummingbird Beach Park and the Sulphur Springs Park, where 3 new blackwater pools were constructed. He says a wellness spa is next.
We are looking forward. We already putting the concept together for a spa, a wellness spa at the Sulphur Springs, which we believe is going to add tremendous value to the park and to the offerings at the Sulphur Springs. This will also create a lot more value-added jobs in Soufrière, masseuse and other persons in the spa industry, Mr. Speaker.
The MP also announced that refurbishments on the Soufrière police station, financed by the Soufrière Regional Development Foundation, are nearing completion. Reigning Calypso King T.C. Brown is calling on fellow Calypsonians to step up and put in the work to propel themselves and their craft further than small local stages. Before seeking outside help from the powers that be, he says they need to help themselves first. Rochelle Gonzalez tells us more in this report.
A message has been sent out to local Calypsonians by the reigning Calypso monarch himself, T.C. Brown, asking them to step up and work on their brand in order to receive the recognition which they deserve. Brown, whose real name is Terry Cadet, said artists need to show more dedication to their craft. When asked what more should be done by the powers that be to propel Calypsonians further in their careers, Brown retorted with the question, what can Calypsonians do for themselves?
It starts there. I still think a lot of us are still sleeping. A lot of us, we just wait for the season. I'm telling you this because it's always so difficult to get Calypsonians to come to a meeting to check on their own business. So you get maybe that's what we see now. Just saying, don't come for me.
On the other hand, Brown said the powers that be do need to pay attention to Calypsonians in terms of financial support. He said whilst he admires the way other artists are being pushed and promoted, this treatment should be afforded to all.
Well, nothing has been done for Calypso, if you really ask me. Besides, we putting on shows for the Calypso season, which is really minimal. It's sad. I mean, you're looking at tents doing only 2 shows. That's not a season for me, So we need to do much more for Calypso. Wherever there is love, wherever, whether it be the Denry segment, whether it be the soca, it's all good because it's about showcasing what we have. It shouldn't only be one set though. But I'm happy to see, that St. Lucians are being showcased, whether it's Denry segment, Edison John. Let's all go. We all in, behind them on that.
T.C. Brown's first tent performance is scheduled for the 8th of June with Fire 1. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
Well, at first he said he would not be distracted by the matter, but now the leader of the opposition is weighing in on the case of Dr. Ewaldus Raymond, saying politicians need to be held accountable for their actions. Systems, he says, must be put in place to prevent politicians from getting away with acts that are unconstitutional.
The leader of the opposition, Philip J. Pierre, has spoken further, somewhat, on the ongoing controversy surrounding Dr. Ewaldus Raymond and a number of leaked telephone conversations between a male, alleged to be him, and a Trinidadian female. The controversy has sparked a call for the Public Service Minister's resignation, as this was the second time that he'd found himself at the center of a major scandal of a similar nature. Reports surfaced that the minister had submitted his resignation on Friday the 5th of April. However, this was debunked the following week by Prime Minister Alan Chasney, who said he'd received no such documentation or notice. On Wednesday morning, Pierre said there is a need for an environment where accountability is exercised.
My position has been clear. My position is that we have to find ways and means of making politicians accountable. That's my position, very clear. The system has to make politicians accountable. Politicians can't believe they can get away with everything or anything because they have the better spin doctors, or they have the better press, or the better Facebook pages. You have to be accountable for your actions.
Pierre stated, as he has done in the past, that he is not referring to personal accountability. With that said, he insisted that once the nation is affected, there is a need for action to be taken.
When your personal actions impinge upon your role as a minister or your role as a politician, when your personal actions, not your personal actions per se, because these things vary. You understand? Right now we into a different era. But I'm saying to you, when your actions can affect the country, can affect decisions that you make pertaining the welfare of people, then you get into problems.
Another statement Pierre has made in the past is that he is not going to pass judgment on persons over their moral decisions. On Wednesday morning, he explained his stance.
This is a very touching topic. Issues of morality always stir up emotional responses. Very emotional. So I don't want to get involved in the emotion of it. I think the idea of the sexual connotations or the sexual issues are matter for the people involved, or the person involved and his family, his wife, his children. That's his business. What concerns me is when these discussions talk about the public service, or when they speak about teachers. That's when it concerns me. Because I believe that these issues of morality are personal, you understand, and issues that you have to deal with your family. I think that you can choose a different path. I think you must be cautious. But I'm saying to you, what concerns me greatly is when these issues, when they intertwine themselves with state issues.
Investigations into Dr. Raymond's case are still ongoing. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
You're watching the Hot 719 News. When we come back, Flow is always on, and Hilary LaForce is set for an exceptional exit. Stay with us.